So I just wanted to pop on. This is kind of like a sneak peek of like my mail call for the month because I mean some of this is not my mail call, some of this is like my artistic call. Um, but I wanted to show a couple of things I received in the mail which I'm happy about. Which I'm happy about. I wasn't gypped off, even though people don't may not agree and may agree or may not agree with different people in the arts and certain people in their actions. And I wasn't gypped off when it came to, pre-ordering books with my poems in them, and getting the books so that had my poems in them. Or the last couple of books maybe, because I'm sure this. I'm pretty sure this pretty much might be the end, or I'm hopeful that whatever the future holds for me, the future is going to be bright and it will be what it will be meant to be. But if I'm meant to be back with the publishers, great. If I'm not, I'm not. But I mean, everybody right now disagrees and everybody feels differently. So I'm not working with any publishers. I don't have the same group of friends or the same group of people in my life. So, but I did get my books with my poems in them. So this Connecticut Bard's Poetry Review 2024 has my poem "The Artists," which I've read before on YouTube. So they gave me the copy of that, and I got the copy of the Walt Whitman's 205 birthday, bicentennial anthology with my poem that no one's ever heard before, up until like about a couple of months ago when I posted it, called "You Can Never Have Enough Pens," which was for a Walt Whitman bicentennial anthology for his birthday. So I got both those books with my poems in them. I'm waiting for one more book from the National Beat Poetry Foundation that has my poem called "Empty Cup" in it, which was for a woman that actually kind of was behind making me very mentally ill and very mentally, nuts. But it was kind of a more response poem about something she had wrote about me during the time that we were friends and, kind of falling out or getting ready to fall out. She had wrote a nasty poem about me because she thought I was, closed off because she never told me about a guy she was seeing, and basically a guy she screwed me over with, and, her family and her baby and all this other shit she had going on, etc. But apparently she wrote this poem about me, about this original poem about me called "Empty Cup," which was, or actually I think it was untitled, but it had something to do with the empty cup, and I kind of wrote a response to it, my response to it, because she was calling me delusional and closed off to love, and I don't think I was closed off to love. I think I was hurt, and I think she had a lot to do with that hurt and a lot to do with that pain. Where I think in a way maybe I did close myself off, but it was only because she was, she continuously was the cause of the pain that was hurting me. And if I didn't close myself off a lot, I would have just basically not have even existed, Um, but basically, there's that one poem. There's my poem called "Empty Cup." I mean, I don't know if they're going to be publishing any more of my poems. I mean, I'm sitting on a lot more poems. I'm sitting on a lot more art that can be published and can be put in anthologies or be put into a book and etc. Um, a lot of shady shit has happened. I mean, certain people ended up, certain people live like an hour or two away and they don't even live in Torrington. And I've asked them out for food or coffee, and they claim they never had a lot of time and they're not really in Torrington and etc. But yet, probably was it like last Friday or the Friday before, they posted that they were in Torrington in a coffee shop and visiting Torrington in a coffee shop in a place where I've actually kind of, had extended myself and said, hey, I extended myself over the internet, but I said, hey, would you ever like to go out for food or coffee sometime? And what happened to be in the damn coffee shop, and they never hit it, they never, hit me up, they never talked to me, they never told me, they never told me about the situation about, that they were going to be in town, because it's funny, too, because I got paid, but I guess God had other plans for my money and the situation of what I was going to do with my budget. So, I didn't have to waste it on her, because obviously, I mean, I look back at that and I realize she really doesn't give a fuck, She has her own career, she's a black woman, and a black woman's going to put her own career before a white man, and, especially all these wokeism bitches and shit, you know what I'm saying? So, but that's basically where black women are at this point, in the wokeism movement, if you support the wokeism, but, I once again I said I was a Republican and I'm going to be a Republican. I mean, I think I'm going to be a Republican. I mean, I don't always like conservatism. I say I don't always like people telling me what to do or what to what I feel like I have to be about or what I have to feel like I can and can't buy or can and can't wear. But at the end of the day, I think that's some of my rebellion and some of the issues I need to work on with my sin and my things that I need to overcome. But um, at the end of the day, I'm just like, the world needs to change, and the world's changing in all the wrong ways, and all the wrong ways for society and for us to evolve and for us to grow and become better people. I think the world is definitely, kind of fucking itself in a way that's not really good. So, but, you know, but I'm glad to see one publisher did not screw me over, and they've kind of fulfilled by giving, kind of fulfilled, my hopes, and the fact that I at least got my two books of my published poems. I mean, I'm waiting on one more book, but I'm still not sure how fully that's going to go about. But I'm waiting to see how the outcome happens. So, um, and then I got this in the mail call. I got this in the mail call today for mail. It's the only book I ordered. I mean, I ordered a lot of DVDs, but for the rest of the stuff I ordered a lot of DVDs. I'm still waiting on my Temu packages, but I do have my book, my Christian book by a Christian pastor. I'm starting to read a lot more Christian material. I'm doing away with a lot of the poetry that has to do with wokeism and stuff. There's a lot of poetry on my page that still has to do with wokeism and stuff, and I'm kind of going back and forth with myself because I'm debating on what to keep and what not to keep, on my wish list, because I don't really support wokeism. I mean, I support poetry, I support the arts, but I don't really support the wokeism that is being pushed onto the liberalism or the wokeism or whatever you want to call it, that's being pushed onto society through the arts and through politics and etc. But yeah, I bought a nice book by a nice Christian pastor, about stop waiting for permission. You don't have to wait for permission to do things, or for anybody's approval. You can do what you need to do and live your life and be happy. But I didn't actually read the book, but I'm assuming that's what it's about because why not? Why do you gotta wait for permission? Why does anybody have to wait for permission to live the godly life that they were supposed to live and meant to be what they were meant to be? So somebody's damn car alarm. That's what you get for living downtown. You got the goddamn car alarm going off. Beep, 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 beep. Anyways, so I basically just wanted to show those books. I mean, I got my book, those books with my poems in them. I was surprised, but I mean, yet again, I mean, I think the person that published them, I kind of knew that that there were a lot of differences of opinions and things going around, and I think maybe in their mind they feel like maybe it's like an I told you so to me, because a couple people a couple people were trying to talk to me and trying to interact with me, saying, "Oh, beware of this one publisher and situation, because she will throw people under the bus if she doesn't agree, or if she feels this way or that way, she'll throw people under the bus and etc." And that's I don't want to lie. I mean, I was thrown under the bus. I mean, yet I was trying to be one of the biggest supporters of the foundation and the things that she supported, but I was still kind of thrown under the bus when she decided to not side with me, or not really, not really grant me, the respect and trying to, honor me in a way when I was having an issue. So it's like, well. So in a way, she did throw me under the bus. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be working with her again. I don't know if she will want to work with me again. But part of me was thinking too. Because now that I'm feeling more conservative and more more feeling more towards the push to kind of give my life to God and find more of a godly woman and more of a godly situation for myself and my circumstances. I've been looking at a lot of my works, and so how some of my works were, kind of promoted like pro LGBT stuff and etc. And if I got them published, from a publisher, they were used in a certain light that kind of like when I wrote the Black Lives Matter poem, which I regret ever writing, under the influence of a woman that I was trying to court and have a relationship with, basically, because because basically I wanted a relationship with her, and she was very pro-black and anti-white and etc. So there were a lot of issues that almost ended my career. But I think in the end they just ended my career. I mean, it was a long time coming, but in the end everything just ended. So, but there was a pro-black woman I wrote kind of inspired me to write my my Black Lives Matter, poem about, or to write, to write the topic for it. But even Willow Smith kind of has like, I mean, I didn't really go into like the liberalism or like, her family's liberalism or, democraticism when it comes to their views in politics. But I kind of did mention the Red Table, which kind of went into some of that, the show kind of goes into some of that and etc. But it was more about Willow and her brother, and how they're celebrities and what, kind of how what they do as as musicians and stuff. But I wasn't trying to get into the politics of Willow. The thing is, I like Willow Smith, but Willow Smith is very liberal oriented, and she's very not really of God. Willow Smith's not really of God. She's she's poly, and she doesn't believe in the sanctity of marriage, and I do think Willow Smith is a gorgeous woman. I mean, I probably should change the background on my phone. I got a picture of Willow Smith on the background of my phone that's pretty much not safe for work. But ever since she kind of dropped it on her Instagram, and it found its way onto the internet and stuff, that I do have a kind of a photo that's a little bit not safe for work in the background of my wallpaper for my phone. But I should probably change that. But I mean, the point being is, I really do. I mean, I really did like Willow. I mean, Willow, I was kind of lustful after Willow. I mean, I'm more lustful after Willow now after seeing that photo. But the point being is, Willow's family, their politics don't make them really live up to the ideals of being, properly ideal for God and stuff. And I just saw a video. I didn't watch the video, but I posted about it. But I didn't see the video. I didn't actually take time to watch the video. But there was a video where Will Smith said something that he is the Bible in the Quran or something like that. He was the Bible in the Quran, or he was. I don't know. It was something that was kind of controversially religious and etc. when it came to his music or his statements, and a lot of people and a lot of Christians and people are looking at him like, "What are you saying, dude?" So at this point, and the world basically. Pardon my language. The world's basically fucked. I mean, Christians really shouldn't swear. I mean, I got so used to swearing and etc. that but the world is basically fucked. I mean, every Christian would agree with me that the world is basically fucked. I mean, it promotes Satanism, it promotes sexism, it promotes feminism, and all these other political and things that people consider to be human rights, that are kind of taking us further away from God and more into a lustful or very unbalanced place. The world can be a very unbalanced and not really pleasant place to live in at times, depending on what you find yourself into and stuff. I mean, Willow Smith is another one. I mean, I mentioned Chloe and Holly before because, obviously Holly was the Little Mermaid, and some people, some Christians have a thing against Disney. I mean, I still like Disney, and I still watch Disney, but some people have a thing against Disney. I mean, and maybe because some of it kind of does promote witchcraft and things and fantasy things that obviously are not, appropriate to God, but Holly Holly kind of got blacklisted, or or I don't know what happened. I mean, I don't know if she got blacklisted. I know there were a lot of people talking about possibly cancel culturing her or something because of some stuff that had happened, and I think it was because obviously quietly but surely, not a lot of people made a big scene about it. But her, her nude pics got leaked online, and there's actually pics of her being butt naked bare, holding a phone, taking pictures in a mirror of like her body basically being shown. So I've seen them. It's caused a lot of lust in me to actually see those things, but yes, I've seen them. And then you got Chloe. I mean, Chloe had some pics like that too. Some people, I don't know, some people say they might have been edited or maybe not really the real pics, but Chloe had something similar to Holly's at some point. But and Chloe's always promoted, kind of like the looseness of her sexuality, where she kind of comes out and is, she's a woman, but she's using her woman, her woman features and her woman, ways to kind of exploit sexuality and in a sexual manner of how she dresses provocatively and etc. when it comes to um, who she is, And I do like Chloe and Holly, but I mean, obviously, I do see them kind of, living a life in Hollywood and stuff that I will never be able to live. I mean, obviously, who wouldn't want to? Because, I mean, some of it might be demonic, and who wants to live a demonic life where people sell their soul to the devil and stuff? I mean, obviously, that's always been a crazy thing about me being an artist, is that I've always wanted to be an artist, and there's always been jokes about me being the Illuminati, like I've sold my soul to the devil or something, but I really don't, I really don't believe in Satanism. I really wouldn't sell my soul to the occult. I mean, I've been through some things where I've seen some occult things happen, and I've been through some things where things have been an occult, or things have been, pretty much, demonic, or very, very misleading, especially in especially in some people's churches that claim to be Christian churches and stuff like that, So, so that's not that's not uncommon in the world. I mean, they're out there. I mean, people hear about them in church, and you think you're not, you think you're just gonna like rebel and not and not and not hear. You know. So pardon me, my phone's going off for somebody, basically for somebody for one of the beat poets that I'm basically no longer a part of. My phone's going off saying, "Oh, you got an event you liked or something for a beat poet that I'm obviously no longer connected to," and etc. So I don't know why it's going off, interrupting my thing, but that's pretty much Satan right now, trying to just interrupt the message when it comes to my message. Basically, bringing forth somebody who I don't really talk to or I don't have no connections to anymore, trying to just interrupt my message and interrupt my mood to try to conflict me from delivering the message that I need to deliver. So, but point being is that my artwork and my poems. I mean, obviously there's a lot of ways my artwork and poems could be used. They can be used in a godly way. They can be used in a non-godly way. Even the stuff I've written about LGBT stuff. When it goes into a book, it can still be used as a godly way. It can still be twisted, and the book can be formed in more of a godly format than compared to maybe an ungodly format if I ever write a book. And it does. My artistic stuff doesn't have to end here, and hopefully it won't. But right now there's a big pause on me being a writer and me being able to get my artwork and my stuff out there. I mean, obviously, I don't want to not continue writing and not continue making art or being about the artistic life. I'm just not for some of the bull crap and shit that has gone down, especially in my own personal interactions where people were very much jealous of me. People were very much jealous of me. They were very much haters, and they very much didn't like me succeeding or winning or any of the blessings that I had received. People were just jealous and hateful of that. So, and people still are, and people think I don't know about it, but people still definitely are, and I know that. People are jealous of my life. People are jealous of the life I live, and people are jealous of what I've got to do, and I mean, it's not all glamorous. I mean, my life has had ups and downs and trials and tribulations, and it's not all glamorous. It's not all 100% rainbows and roses. But it may look that way to some people, but it's really not. I've obviously had a lot of fucked up shit happen, and obviously in my childhood and stuff, I've had to overcome and try to heal, and still try to heal, and learn a lot of valuable lessons that have taken me almost years to learn, and still to this day, I've had a lot of lessons I've had to learn. Like one of the biggest ones is like why that you think you can find God out on your own and rebel from the church to say, oh, I'm going to find God out on my own, and realize that the world is not godly. The world is not godly. What you're trying to look for out there is not godly. But the world and their surroundings is not it's not godly. It's not where God is centered. God first and foremost should be centered in yourself, and should be centered, in your household, But God, people, people of God, center in the church, and they center, congregate in the church, and they try to honor God through the church too. But God should be centered in your home. It should be centered in the way that you live, and the way that you preach, and the way that you do what you do. And there's a huge problem with that, because a lot of people these days are not about God. The thing is, I need to be about God, and I think my whole life has been really fucked up. And part of my language for it, because you shouldn't be swearing as somebody who should be about God, but there's still a lot of healing and stuff I have to do, and I'm still not 100% there where when I need to be. But obviously, that's the only way I can say how screwed up it is by swearing about it, because it really is screwed up. I mean, the world is screwed up, the situation is screwed up. It's just so freaking screwed up. It's not funny. It wasn't just personally it's been screwed up. I mean, obviously I've been through a lot of things personally. I've been a lot of things through with my art, and personal trials and tribulations with people who I've dated personally, and etc. But it's the world outside too. I mean, I'm starting to see it too. I'm starting to see it. I'm starting to see it more pass through like the politics of things, and maybe a little bit more of the arts. I'm seeing it pass through politics and the arts mostly when it comes to especially being an artist. I see it, pass through those things, and it's not always good. It's not always good, and I don't know. I used to say porn is a tool. Porn is a tool, or DVDs. Porn DVDs are a tool, and you can use that for just being a tool. But I mean, obviously in the wrong hands and in the wrong situations, it can get really carried away, and people just become about that life, and those situations and things, and it becomes way too much. I mean, some people can handle it, so other people, for them, it just becomes way too much, and it's just not the life some people want to live. And that's why there's testimonies about that too, where people say, "Oh, I was once a porn addict," and they try to they try to give their heart to God, and they try to give their their lives to God after being a porn addict or being a prostitute or something, because they struggle with sexual sin. I still kind of watch adult entertainment. I hate to say that. I mean, it's not a godly thing. It's something I still struggle with. But yes, I still have access to adult entertainment. I still watch adult entertainment. Not as much though. I really try to limit myself. On how much adult entertainment I watch, and just try to basically, try to get work done and get on with my day. Honestly, I wanted to make cheeseburgers today, and I didn't do that because I've been sitting here trying to look for an air conditioner the whole day, because my mom's just sent me money to get an air conditioner, so I'm trying to get a new air conditioner put in, because I've been having problems with my air conditioner. It's been leaking inside my apartment, and it kind of damaged the wall, and it's been making a lot of wet towels, because I've had to put towels down and made a lot of wet towels, and making my apartment stink like mold and wet towels and shit. So I've had to kind of get a new air conditioner, and I have the money to get the air conditioner. I just need to come up with the money probably by next year or so, so they can actually put the new one in, and I can run it. So I got to come up with another $200 just so I can put the air conditioner in. The new air conditioner I hopefully will order tomorrow, because the money's not ready yet. Hopefully order tomorrow, and then put it get the money to put it in. And then it costs another $100 for me to to run the air conditioner. So that's basically what I've been working on all day. I mean, I need to eat something. I mean, I had some cheese and crackers. I mean, I want to make some turkey burgers, because I have that kind of defrosted, that I need to basically make some turkey burgers. But I don't know. I mean, I have turkey burgers. I have a little bit of stuff, but I still need. I mean, part of me still needs to go to a food bank, and part of me still needs to go to the food bank. Part of me still needs to go to the bank. I've been trying to ask. I try to ask some people if I get a ride to somehow get to a Subway, because I got a Subway gift card. People are kind of telling me now that I'm kind of working with. I'm going to be working with. a peer support specialist again. The people are telling me I'm going to work with the same peer support specialist again because I obviously didn't really want to give up on that. We just had an argument and etc. And part of me didn't really want to give up on that. And part of me, well, at first I was going to give up on that, but I changed my mind. By the time I changed my mind, everybody decided that was over and done with. So, but then I was like, well, I didn't really want to give up, but now it's like everybody wants to give up. So it's like so everybody ended it. So apparently, that whole situation is like now they're gonna put me back with a peer support specialist. Hopefully, maybe in the future. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna be this month. I don't know if it's gonna be next month. But I was asking my mental health worker for a couple different things because I need to get a couple things done. I mean, I really should have reached out to a neighbor or something too because I don't know. I'm a lot of things I'm trying to do. I mean, I'm thinking in the back of my mind, I got laundry to do because I got the wet towels from the air conditioner, basically. I got wet towels from the air conditioner that I just talked about that was leaking, so I gotta basically do the wet towels that are sitting here getting moldy and, stinking up the apartment. So, there we go. Soda cans are not our friends. I mean, I cut my finger. I cut the tip of my finger trying to open up a soda can or a can the other day because it's like you got to pull the tab, and the tab actually literally cut my finger. So, soda cans cannot be, sometimes they're not actually safe. I actually had that band-aided up, but I actually took a shower earlier and I had to take the band-aid off. I don't know. Whether my artwork is going to be used in a more of a godly way or whether my artwork is going to be used at all is a good question for the future. I mean, I don't know. In a way, right now, I'm trying. God is trying to use me to be a source to kind of, kind of be a source to kind of be a light to my mental health program. By trying to start something so people can display artwork and other people can enjoy the gift of art and in the mental health program that God decided that He wanted me to use my talents or get me involved in things that will use my talents to be able to for people to display art in the mental health program and to be able to show it there. So that's kind of my situation right now is I'm trying to display artwork or at least get a situation started where I can display artwork for the mental health program. Or at least get something started where artwork would be displayed, but it's going to be how God insists to use my talents, and I seem to be in a position where I've been using my talents, but I wonder if God's really not happy in the ways I've been using my talents. So He's been trying to get me to wake up and try to get me to realize some shit before it's too late and etc. That my talents are supposed to be used for a whole different purpose and meaning of life and etc. But we gotta be careful of our media. I mean, I don't want to put my political opinions on everybody because everybody, I guess, is going to have a right to what they want to believe. But I mean, obviously, I feel like the world's going to go to hell if people believe something in a certain way. But I just don't see the democratic liberalism working for me much anymore, and I supported a lot of media. I mean, I would have to go through lots and lots of books, reread lots and lots of books because I still have poetry and stuff by a lot of media and stuff that supported the wokeism and stuff and the stuff of the the new age media and stuff when it came to our art and music and poetry and stuff. That there was a lot of wokeism placed in some of those books that I don't know if I want to keep the books of people promoting the wokeism because I'm not really for that anymore. I'm not for that. I'm not for that as a human being. I'm not for that as somebody who feels like I need to promote God, and I don't feel it's very godly in the way that I feel like I should promote it. So, I mean, obviously, I've had my differences in the ways that I have, but And you know, in these days, people say it too, that you can go to jail for a hate crime for speaking out against things now like LGBT and, you know, Black Lives Matter and etc. Just for speaking out against it, or saying you got a problem with it, or having a confrontation with somebody. People say, oh, you can just go to jail. It's just a hate crime because you obviously had a confrontation with somebody when they were LGBT, or they were, you know, they were obviously a Black Lives Matter, or, you know, or Black culture, and because they have a problem with you and they believe that Black Lives Matter and stuff, that you obviously are now being pinned for, you know, obviously a hate crime or etc. Thanks to Kamala Harris. Thanks to Kamala Harris, who is a freaking dictator. They talk about Trump being a dictator. You should see what Kamala Harris is about, you know? People are pointing her out to be a huge dictator, you know? Sometimes the devil comes in as everything you want. People got to remember that too. Sometimes the devil comes in as everything you want. And I've learned that with humans. I've learned that with actual humans and actual human beings, is that the devil will come in as everything you want, and as everything you think you desire, and everything you think is going to be good for you. But really, sometimes it's the things that you want the most and the things you think are going to be good for you that are actually not, you know? So it's kind of like politics. People think, you know, people think the politics that they want are going to be good for them, etc. But it comes a time where you think you want to be, you know, for free love of the LGBT community, or you want to be for Black lives and etc. But obviously, those things that people think that might be good for them, they might not really be good for that person. You know, for me, they were never. You know, I thought they were. You know, the whole thing is, I thought Black Lives was going to be good for me. I thought it was going to be a good thing that I was going to support. I thought it was going to be a good thing I could stand behind. And really, it was bad for my mental health. It was bad for my overall being. It was bad for, you know, it was just a bad situation. You know, it was bad for my social interactions. It was bad for a lot of things that have happened that, you know, I tried to be about, and I just kind of ruined my life, or kind of ruined a good portion of my last couple of years, learning the hard way about, you know, wanting to be such a supporter to the Black community, that, you know, I realized that there's a thing about certain things about the Black community that are not really supportive of people outside of their culture that really want to support the Black community, because they're really not supportive of people outside of the, you know, their culture to support it. So, you know, it is what it is. But I mean, the people say the devil and everything comes in as what you want the most. And the thing is, I thought I wanted to love the way I wanted to the most. I thought I wanted the religion of what I wanted the most. But really, what I think I want the most is just to become closer to God. You know, just become closer to God, because God's never really let me down. I mean, obviously my mother's let me down, my father's let me down, my exes have let me down. Society has let me down. My mental health program has let me down more than once. But who will never let you down is God. God will never let you down, you know. You know, people are always going to let you down. Somebody in the world is going to always let you down. But God is always going to be there for you. And I don't know. You know, I just think, you know, I don't know. The world is screwed. The world is absolutely screwed. But anyways, luckily I wasn't fully screwed. I got my books, which is the main reason I came on, is because I got my books, with my poems in them. So I got my books with my poems in them, or at least two of them, and I got a Christian book in the mail. Part of my Christian book collection. I actually have many more Christian books on my wish list. So if anybody wants to, you know, surprise me with another Christian book, or, you know, or another Christian, you know, another Christian book or something, I have quite a few Christian books on my wish list that I still don't have in my collection. Or if anybody knows of any Christian authors that are not on my wish list and etc. that they want to introduce me to that might be good for me, please let me know. So, I mean, there's still some things on my wish list. I'm still trying to debate with myself if I should delete it or not delete it. I mean, I know conservative Christians and a lot of people will say, oh, delete it, because obviously there's some things on there for, you know, obviously, you know, sexual maintenance, or, you know, sexual maintenance, or I'll call it sexual maintenance when it comes to, you know, the bedroom and stuff like that. I have some stuff there, but you know, I don't know. I don't know if people are gonna love that or be against that. But I mean, I've deleted a lot of the liberal stuff from my page and etc. But I do still have some of the, you know, adult toys and things that are lingering on my wish list that, that people can gift me or people could surprise me with. I don't know if I want to keep them there. I don't know if, I mean, I have a lot of adult entertainment as it is, and I'm realizing that just people being about sex all, I mean, the thing is, you can't, it's like the world can't turn off sex. Sex is everywhere. Sex is in our media, sex is in our music, sex is everywhere. It's like when you try to turn off sex and try to just get a break from the sex movement after maybe having a moment with yourself about sex or watching something about sex, and then you want to move on from the topic of sex, then sex pops up everywhere, because it pops up everywhere. It's in our media, it's in our music, it's in our movies, and it's like, it just gets a little much about the sexual driven, society and stuff. And that's, I mean, sex is not the problem. I mean, sex is the problem for the world and society. It's become a problem for me, just being such an outraged issue for society that everybody wants to be so sexual. I mean, I think there's a time and a place for me to be sexual, and there's a time and a place for me to be about that life, but for the world to kind of take it and kind of make the whole world sexual, it just doesn't work for me. It's a huge thing about sin. Everybody wants to be so open about something that should have been so sacred. Sex should have been so sacred. It should have been godly, it should have been sacred, it should have been between a man and a woman, and, I mean, now it's between, a guy and a guy, or a girl and a girl, or whatever people do, and, it should have been a sacred, godly thing, and, people have turned the sacred, godly thing about sex and turned it into monstrous, a freaking monstrous, monstrous, free-for-all, so, but I just wanted to show those books. I'm going to try to get off the topic because I can rant about this for about an hour or two. So I just wanted to show those books. I just wanted to show that. And obviously, I don't know how my gifts are going to be used at this time, but I'm still sitting here working a lot of stuff off. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention in this video, now that I thought about that, is I am no longer liberal. I am no longer liberal or democratic, and there's certain people that my art page says it still supports and stuff that are liberal or democratic, and there's other artistic stuff or other artists on my page that my art page is said to support. When I'm really trying to get rid of those pages and unfollow those pages from my art page, but Zuckerberg or whoever in the higher ups of the social media platforms and stuff will not let me try to remove those pages from my art page. They're like literally glued onto my page. I say I can unfollow my stuff, but it literally won't let me go in and actually remove certain pages from my art page now. It's like all the liberal stuff is stuck there, all the gay stuff is stuck there, all the stuff that I'm trying to want to move away from is actually stuck there. I can't make changes where I can't I can like new things, but I can't swap some stuff out, when I want to swap out some stuff that's not going to work for me, or decided I don't really like the page or the content. I can't get rid of it from my art page. So Zuckerberg and social media obviously have some glitches or something, or obviously you're now going to sit there and promote the woke culture and all this other bullshit like everybody else, and make it where people can't even get rid of that stuff off their pages and stuff because of whatever the reason. So I don't know. Social media has always been an issue for me. I've always had a thing against Mark Zuckerberg because of, just the way he runs his social medias and etc. But I mean, I have a bigger thing against Twitter. I mean, Twitter was so sexually explicit that, I kind of was almost going into sexual things on Twitter too. But Twitter was so sexually explicit that I had to delete my Twitter and deactivate my Twitter. So, Twitter is now deactivated and it's gone. But, so Twitter was actually the worst one, but Mark Zuckerberg is competing like head to head sometimes with Twitter, or like at least next in line after Twitter when it comes to like the worst social media sites, But anyways, that's all I gotta say at this point in time. I gotta get ready. I gotta go do something. I gotta go eat some more food because I'm actually still hungry, and I gotta get this load of laundry put in the washer. But anyways.